Hey everybody, welcome back to Bookish and Bearded. Today we're going to go over books that I unfortunately DNF'd. My kind of rule of thumb is I give about 100 pages, sometimes a little more, but I usually give 100 pages just to make sure I'm not enjoying a book for whatever reason, and then I'll DNF it if I see fit. We'll go over some of the books I DNF'd and I'll give a short description or reason why. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoy it, make sure you like the video and subscribe. The first book is Guards by Terry Pratchett. This was a part of a book club I'm in with some really good friends of ours. I can see why people do enjoy this. I just couldn't. My main reason is the British humor. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it, and it made me feel dumb. Like, almost like watching an amped up version of Austin Powers, like way on overdrive. Because it's not just British humor, it's also fantasy world. So it's a lot of jokes that I didn't get and a world that I didn't understand at all. I got 100 pages in, and it's not even a long book, so it's 400 pages. So a quarter of the way in, and I just could not do it any longer. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't understand the world building, and I typically like whimsical worlds. This one was a little too out there for me, so that is the main reason I DNF'd this. I really didn't want to. I did, for the book club, listen to the audiobook on like speed read, bounced around a little bit so that I could talk about the book, which I feel like gave me even more of an insight into the book because I didn't enjoy the audiobook either, even before I sped it up and skipped around. It just wasn't for me. So yeah, I know a lot of you will be upset because Terry Pratchett is huge in the fantasy world. I just couldn't do it. Next is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This book was recommended by some of you on one of the videos I did a while back. The writing was very good. I knew going into it was dark academia, which I'm typically into, so I was excited about it. The main reason I didn't enjoy this is the dark academia in this, and maybe I didn't get enough in. Again, I only did 100 pages, but it was like in a college learning about dissecting bodies and really going into detail on taking apart the bodies and what was inside of them and the magic system, going into these sorceresses or whatever they are, learning this dark magic or healing magic, whatever it was. I didn't like any of that. I didn't like the descriptive scenes. I didn't like that. I didn't like the college vibes it kept giving. I don't even know how to explain that because I do enjoy stuff like Harry Potter, but I don't know. The college in this was like a preppy, huge school. It was just weird. I did not like it. If you've played Baldur's Gate, I've said this before, but I swear it's identical to the scene where you go into the creepy house and they're dissecting people on a table. It just was not for me. That's not my vibe. Yeah, that was the main reason I quit reading this one. After it kept going into detail and didn't really further progress into the story, I called it quits. I will say, I do have a friend that DNF'd this 3 times and then finally finished it and gave it 5 stars. So I know it probably gets really good because the writing is good too, but I just couldn't do it at the time. This next one I think is going to surprise y'all. Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames was a soft DNF for now. I love Vikings. I kept telling y'all how much I love Vikings. I got a little over 100 pages into this one, and the comedy elements in this just wasn't for me. And I do love comedy. It's just I don't know. It just seemed like a bunch of getting kicked between the legs jokes and old dumb fat guys drinking beer jokes, which is, it can be funny, but it was just repetitive. And the fight scenes never came. And again, it was only 100 pages. I was impatient, so I actually started rereading the Bloodsworn saga, which is way more vivid details and very rapidly picks up pace. And so yeah, I did that because I wanted to read about Vikings, and this just wasn't hitting the spot. Again, if you like Vikings, it was well written. I will just say it just had a bunch of dumb jokes in the beginning, and it's very slow. It was very slow, which a lot of fantasies and world building is. I just was being impatient and wanted to get to one that was a little faster paced at the time. This one I for sure am going to pick back up, though. I do want to finish this book and see how it ends. Ooh, it's been a while since I read this one. This is For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. I was so excited about this book because it's like a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. The cover was beautiful. It has deckled edges. Everything, like, I picked it up for the cover, read the back. It sounded really good. But, dude, and this one's... how do I even say this? This one made me feel stupid. If a book or an author uses too many huge words in succession, like this one did, I just start feeling stupid. There were words that, like, I'd Google a couple words and be like, okay, I'm not doing this the whole book. If you didn't have that issue, congratulations. You're way smarter than I am. There were a lot of, like, misunderstandings going on in the writing style of this. It almost felt Shakespearean to me. It's been a while, so I could be wrong. And again, this is another dark world, kind of like Ninth House, so that I didn't like that vibe. One of the dudes is constantly cutting himself the whole book, which isn't really my vibe either. It was weird. And oh man, the love story in this too was really weird. They meet, they instantly like are oil and water, like mean to each other, don't like each other, and then are having like inner thoughts about each other. I hate that. Yeah, dude, the main thing though was the writing style. It was not my vibe. Way too many like long words back to back to back to back, and almost written poetically. I know that sounds weird, but it almost felt like each page was like very poetically written, like Shakespearean, and it just was not for me. Next, the one you all knew was coming, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Dang, man. I knew going into this that it was romantasy. I was hoping it would be a little more romance and fantasy and not just smut. I've talked to quite a few of you who disagree with me on my take, which is fine. Everybody can have their own opinion. That does not bother me at all. But this to me was just pure smut. And it wasn't even like good smut. The first time our main protagonist meets the man, he treats her like dirt, and yet she still finds herself attracted to him, which if you're into like humiliation stuff or like domination stuff, this might be for you. For me, it is not my vibe. It was kind of weird how mean he was to her. And then a lot of people reached out and were like, oh yeah, but in the end he becomes nicer and he's easier to get along. And my whole defense to that was like, yeah, after she lets him do whatever he wants with her, he's nicer to her. Yeah, good job, dude. I don't know. It just was not my vibe. I don't know. I went into this hoping it would be better. I love fantasy. I love romantasy. I even like smut. Quarter Silver Flames is one of my favorite books. I think it was written way better than this. I thought the scenes were written better. This just was not for me. I didn't like him degrading her constantly. And a lot of you, or a lot of people have told me that it wasn't spicy because a lot of the filth in it is inner dialogue. To me, that counts. I'm still reading it. Yeah, I actually got a good ways into this one. I got like 150, 200 pages in. Could not do it anymore. I was like, yeah, I'm done. This one I don't think I'm going to pick back up. I may, probably not. It was not, I didn't care for it. Ooh, next is Bloodgard by C.C. Robson. This one surprised me too. And it may surprise you because I love gladiators. Again, another book you can see why I picked it up. It is about a gladiator in an arena doing what gladiators do. However, This one I may read again because I only got 100 pages into it and was like, I wasn't feeling it. Our gladiator, when we get his point of view, he sees some girl in the crowd he finds attractive. He like beats up the guy in the ring with him or decapitates him, whatever it is, and notices that like she's looking at him or whatever. He ends up getting a sponsor that lets him like live on their like steading. This girl is there, and their relationship is weird. It's I don't know how else to say it. It's just weird. It's a weird dynamic between him and her. They have a weird fascination with each other, even though like they don't ever really have chemistry to me. Uh, they may later in the book it may get better. This one I may give another chance because it just at the time he kept same thing with Quicksilver. All of his like internal thoughts when he saw her were filthy or degrading, and I was just like, I'll pick it up some other time and read it. And yeah, that's kind of why I quit on this one. The next book I do not own. It was an audiobook, and it was Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood, which is one of my favorite romance authors. But this one was weird, man. So I was super, super excited about the book. It's a video game book where she works for this gaming company, and at the beginning, I did not make it 100 pages into this one. I'm sorry. They're having a meeting, and her boss is like, "All right, we're gonna get with our this other competition company or our competitors, and we're gonna have to merge to work on this game that we've signed a deal that we have to work with them on it." And he's like, "I know we have some weird relations, and at the party, I don't want you all doing stuff with each other." He starts making a bunch of weird sexual adult jokes about like all the people for both companies, and the boss just keeps doing that with his coworkers, and the coworkers not only think it's funny, but they like do the stuff he's joking about, and it's just a weird dynamic to a book. It could have been because it was an audiobook, could have been because I don't know, maybe I misunderstood it, but to me it seemed like the boss and all his coworkers were into like each other's personal lives and like encouraging it and talking about it. I don't know. I found it weird and just DNF'd it. The other book is Twisted Love. This is a dark romance mafia book, and it was my first time reading a mafia book. I was very excited about it because I like stuff like Al Capone and all the like big mafia dude shows, documentary stuff like that. It was, and I knew it was going to be filthy too because it is dark romance, but it was like 5% mafia, 95% filth, and the filth was like way over the top. Like you might as well be watching inappropriate stuff or reading inappropriate stuff. That's all it was, and it was all like way blown out of proportion and exaggerated and ridiculous, and it was just too much. I got like I think I did make it 100 pages. I got like 100 pages in, and I was like, oh, okay, it's ridiculous. If you like super exaggerated filthy spice, you would probably love it. And I don't know, it was well written. If you want to read erotica, there's a good word for it, but that's all it was. There was no, I mean, there was like 5% mafia in it, and it may pick up, but the beginning was just, it was too much for me. So I went ahead and called it quits. But yeah, that's most of the books I have ever, I think that's all the books I have ever DNF'd. There might be one or two more I forgot. So I don't DNF a ton. That's over like the last couple of years. But yeah, that is all of them. That is why. And I would love if you threw in the comments, not just your last DNF, like your most proud DNF, like one that you never plan on picking back up again, one that was just a solid DNF. Throw the title of the book down there. And yeah, give me a short description why. I'm curious to know why you didn't finish it. Y'all all have a great week.